What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are putting this back in this. Word. So to put the motor back in the car, we do have a list. Gonna put the wheels on so that way the car is nice and level on the ground. We won't have to lift the crane as high. Put the valve covers back on, throw the headers back on. Got to reconnect the steering linkage because when I was trying to take the headers out, to take the motor out, I disconnected this thinking that it would help me gain a little bit of access, give me a little bit of free space to work with. That ended up not helping at all. Which, you live and you learn. That's sort of how car projects go. Not everything is going to go as you plan, but improvise, adapt, overcome. So with that, I got tools, I got coffee, I got Chris to help me out. Let's go. First thing, throwing the valve cover back on. I know wheels was first on the list, but we got a table in the way right now. It'll just be a little easier to do the valve covers. So next up, just to help us prepare for later on, we're going to do starter and also the oil filter housing. Got the starter back on, got the oil filter housing back on. I added those to the list just so we can cross them off. Bang! Now onto the headers. I did get sick new copper gaskets, so that way we can replace the old... I think the old ones were also copper, but either way we're replacing them with new ones. Hopefully they'll seal a little better and not end up leaking and making our awesome gold motor all black. Bam! Headers are on. There is still a little bit of a gap. I'm not really sure why that is. I think the copper gasket that we installed is just a little too thick. I don't know that there's a thinner one or if there's a better way to do that. But either way, headers on. Now, onto the steering linkage.
Check it out, Bobby's our new motor.
Alright, so that is the steering linkage done. It's mostly straight. We may have to align it once we get everything back together, but for now we're going to drop the car onto the ground, put the wheels on it first, obviously. That way it'll be a little lower, and we'll keep this moving. So here's where we're at. Thought we could have the headers on before we installed. As I've mentioned in a previous video, these headers did not actually fit the car. So we kind of had to pre-install the headers on the exhaust before we could put the motor in. But now, I guess here we go back into it. Check it out, motor is back in the car.
We did that.
You're a beast. So as always, Chris has been a huge help doing this stuff. He knows way more about cars than I do. So this is huge progress towards getting the car back up and running again. A quick update on the transmission. We figured out what was wrong with it. It was actually the torque converter that went. Basically it shot metal throughout the whole transmission, messed a whole bunch of stuff up. Thankfully though, it's under warranty, so I'm sending it back to the shop that built it in the first place. They're going to be nice enough to put it all back together for me and send it back. We'll put it in the car. I'm going to try to go with an aftermarket torque converter this time to try to eliminate the risk of a remanufactured one. I think the one that came with the transmission was like a rebuilt one, so I want to try to go with something brand new out of the box from a performance company that that should be a little bit sturdier. So if you like what you're seeing so far, go ahead and like this video below. If you want to keep up with the progress, follow along with the build, go ahead and subscribe. And if you know anybody that's really into cars or really into projects and stuff like that, go ahead and share this video with them. Next time we'll either be putting some accessories on the motor or putting the transmission back in. So I'll see you next time.